Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and parenting education coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
Now, you can live in Texas and not have a good red meat blend. Texas Cowboy Dust is designed for steak and other red meats. It's out to be my most popular spice blend, made with onions, peppers, ground mushrooms, pink salt, and other spices. Texas Cowboy Dust also goes great with chicken, pork, vegetables, and adds a restaurant quality sheen to gravies and sauces.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people try to get down.
Vanilla smoked sea salt seasoning is for seafood. The tarragon and fennel bring out the natural sweetness in seafood. I also use it in rice dishes, on yams, asparagus, blueberry pancakes, and believe it or not, chocolate chip cookies. Vanilla smoked sea salt adds a salty and savory component to sweet dishes that create a symphony for the tongue.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food? Like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
So we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell your mama hungry.
Let's face it, shopping for insurance can be time-consuming. That's why when it comes to your auto, home, and life insurance needs, make things simple and trust the experts at Allstate. They will help you get the coverage that fits your needs while helping you bundle your life, home, and auto policies. Bundling saves you money, sure, but it also saves you time, so you can enjoy the things that matter most even more. Contact me, Tammy Haynes, your local agent, for a free personalized insurance quote. Allstate, are you in good hands?
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High-quality cigars plus personal customer service with Slow Burn. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. It's more than a mobile lounge. It's an environment and an experience rich in history, luxury, and personality. An elegant extension of any celebration occasion. It's the perfect escape and meeting place, a space where you can relax or enjoy a shared passion. Have Slow Burn plan your next big event, or before you are planning to celebrate your win over your athletic rival, you can shop our collections at www.slowburnwaco.com.
But if they want to tab, I'ma do the dab, yeah.
What up? What up? What up? I'm just trying to look a little bit more educated because I got my player partner back on the show. So I'm gonna throw my little smart glasses on because we're gonna get into some things because it's cool having guests. I like that. It's cool having co-hosts. I like that. But when you got your radio fam, it's just different. You know what I'm saying? I miss the days of, the white light and the dark light of the Sith and the Jedi, all those good things. So we're gonna get into some shit. I'm gonna poke the bear just for the hell of poking the bear today. But before we start and get into some things, I made a post and I started to tag some people. Got my glass on. Now, do I look a little educated? Because I got a question. And I'm gonna start this, but I'm gonna go on and bring my boy in on it. You might well just go on and show your face, because when I start my monologue, Roy, it's gonna need you to just step on in now. And it's gonna pertain to today's subject about this new woke order of people that's agitating the living crap out of me. And I don't want no smoke, and I ain't trying to be disrespectful to nobody, but we kind of like honesty and know who you are. So with that being said, for those of y'all sports fans, y'all know football season is about to crank back up, right? Y'all know football season is about to crank back up. So one, I need for y'all to get rid of this lie about what the NFL is losing, because they ain't losing nothing. Understand. And Roy's a businessman, so he'll be able to explain this a little bit better, y'all, because he can talk to y'all in y'all language. When you don't make as much profit as you thought you were, you are still making profit, which means you're not losing business. That's what my business mind understands things. So instead of making 300 million, you only make 208 billion. You still ain't lost nothing. You made 200. See, a loss is when you were supposed to make something, but you lost. Parentheses, see WNBA. Yeah, I took a low blow because that's where we going. So in addition to the start of football season, it is the WNBA playoff season. Y'all know that? See, for most sports heads who don't really watch a lot of sports, they just like to talk about it. This is the time of year they tune in. You tune in for the playoffs. So, I made a statement about the WNBA and I got all kind of kickback. What we should do, why we don't support them. And honestly, I tell you why I ain't supporting one. It is a boring ass game. It's boring. You know what we don't like in boxing? We don't like people who win by points. We don't like all that. Oh yeah, look at the footwork. No, that's not what people who pay $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 for them ringside seats want to see. That's why Mike Tyson always sold out, because people want to see the knockout. The WNBA. See, they are losing money. They're not making as much things. They're not making none. It ain't nobody's job to support them, but y'all people who keep talking about support. But here it is, the beginning of the playoff season, and I don't see none of y'all who was advocating for this. I don't see none of y'all talking about the WNBA games. The NBA should pay for it. Look at any company that does a takeover. And yes, the WNBA is a sub-affiliate of the NBA. This is true. But when Campbell buy a business or Microsoft buy a business or whoever, when a business ain't performing that they buy, you know what they do? They cut their losses and close it down. They start getting rid of people who run their business. Slowly but surely, they keep the top performers and they go away. So why would you keep pumping money into a losing entity? They're losing 10 million. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, they're doing it because it's a tax write-off. People have to understand the purpose at this point of the WNBA. These are billionaires who need a way to balance out what they have to spend out in taxes versus what they're bringing in and they're able to keep. Just like you said, WNBA is losing money. So all of the WNBA as an entity is losing money. So what that does for the NBA, which is its parent company, is it gives them the ability to show a deficit in their expenses versus their profits. So they end up spending less in taxes. I mean, that's honestly that's what it is. It's a tax shelter.
Yeah, but they not going. They ain't finna lose a whole bunch because they can still find other stuff. But
they're not going to shut it down. But see, they're not going to shut. Why would you? Why would you shut it down when you got a built-in way to keep over 20% of your revenue.
But the point is, all these people who clamoring for it ain't supporting it and talking about what everybody else should do. That's not how business works. You complaining about people having to go overseas. Stop the madness. And you claim about what they equal, they not. The XFL, the USFL, the CFL, none of them make what the NFL make. None of them. And guess what? They ain't, because they ain't good enough. The WNBA is not good enough to be an NBA product. It's a cute halftime show. That's it. When they got the games, you look at the stands. You feel like you're at a Trump rally. Ooh, look at all these people, because you lie to yourself. They skills competition. Can anybody tell me who won the three-point competition for the WNBA any season? Any season. But y'all started trying to act like people should be watching this when you don't even watch it. And I had to break it down in hood terms with somebody. Go to any flea market in any hood and see if you can find a WNBA jersey. That's how much people think about them. They're not even trying to replicate their jerseys because ain't nobody buying them. Ain't nobody buying Sue Bird jerseys. Ain't nobody buying Lisa Leslie jerseys. Ain't nobody buying Cheryl Swoops, who used to have her own shoe. Because I used to follow the WNBA. But it's kind of like golf. Unless you like the game, it's boring. And I'm just wondering where all y'all at now who talking about, oh, I'm going to start supporting it. I'm going to start sharing it. It's playoff season. I bet you can't name two teams in the playoffs. I'm willing to bet you can't. Most of y'all don't even know who won last year.
Atlanta and Chicago.
See? And I started to do a real petty post and put their WNBA Hall of Fame up, but I know y'all gonna lie and say y'all knew most of them people. I'm a sports head and didn't know most of them people in the WNBA Hall of Fame. But I don't sit here and act like they something that they ain't. I can't tell you a whole lot about the XFL or the CFL or the USFL. I can tell you about some stuff they did back in the day. I know Warren Moon came from the CFL. I know retarded Herschel Walker played in the USFL. I know Jim Kelly came from the USFL. I want to say Steve Young, Reggie White. See, because I'm old like that. But it shut down because it couldn't make no money. And
no, they shut down because Trump sold them out. Yeah, he tried to get them to move to. If they would have stayed during the summer, they would have been straight. But Trump sold them out because he wanted to be an NFL owner,
and he wanted to compete at the same time.
Yeah, try to compete against.
Yeah, because I want to say the XFL, one of them was supposed to be a feeder system for the NFL.
Well, that's what they were trying to make the XFL now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the second iteration.
That's what everybody thought the USFL was going to be.
Right, but the USFL decided, well, your former voters decided, oh no, we got a good enough game to go head to head with them.
Yeah.
No. And if you ever watch the CFL, the CFL is actually more exciting than the NFL. It just don't get to play. But the CFL got an exciting game. They only got 3 downs. They got 3 downs. That game going a whole lot faster. The field is a little bit longer. It's a little bit wider. That's a pretty good game to watch sometimes. It's just that once you know NFL, it's hard to try to figure out some of the stuff they're doing because it's like, what? 3rd down, they kick, what? The goalposts, all that's different. But that's a good game. But anyway, that's what I want to start off with that because like I said, I know my man is here and we do a good back and forth with each other because we do a good balancing act. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we miles apart. Sometimes we close, but we on different elevators. You know what I'm saying? So he back, so we're gonna do a little something. Like I said, and that was one of them things that's just bothering me. It's bothering me. Where y'all at now? Where y'all supporters at? Some of y'all act like real friends act. Y'all always say y'all gonna be there when they count, but when they count, you ain't nowhere to be found. Oh yeah, I said Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker got to be one of the
dumbest. Go ahead.
Dumb is insulting to dumb people. Now. Let me say this about Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker, and I don't care how you feel. This is fact. Herschel Walker should be loyal to Donald Trump because when this is why I stopped following UGA. When Herschel Walker was offered the first guaranteed contract. See, Donald Trump signed Herschel Walker to a personal services contract, so he was going to get paid regardless. This is when being a millionaire was a huge deal. And Vince Dooley, the coach at the time at UGA, said that Herschel shouldn't take the contract. He should stay in school and get his degree. Right then, that falls under one of the dumbest statements ever made in mankind. You're gonna tell a black man from the hills not to take a guaranteed $1 million a year contract to stay in school? and learn what? No. So Herschel is an idiot, but his loyalty, you got to appreciate that kind of loyalty. That man by himself bought Herschel from the hills. Now Herschel can own the hills. So I don't have a problem. I really don't with his loyalty and supporting Trump. He should, because that man gave him generational wealth before generational wealth became a term. Now, as a politician, Herschel makes as good a politician as me and Roy make a woman. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. We can try, but we ain't gonna shave. We ain't gonna change our voice. We ain't getting no implants. So we're gonna be found out early, kind of like Herschel Walker. See how that? See, Internet. You started there. How many children he got? Girl, he don't know. So guess what? Me and Roy damn sure don't know. And it's funny. And see, boy, Internet starting some shit. I was gonna try to keep. Herschel Walker is suffering from the Eddie Long effect. Y'all know what that is? That's what people like to shame people for something, but they're guilty of it. Remember, Eddie Long liked to shame people about homosexuality. Herschel tried to shame deadbeat dads, kind of like Jesse Jackson did. Oh, and he got caught. I don't like people who do that. If you're going, it's cute to shame people for your sin. Just STFU. Have two frosty mugs of it. But come on, everybody named Mama knew Herschel could never graduate valid. If Herschel was the only somebody in a class, if he was homeschooled, he wouldn't have been valedictorian. He couldn't have. Herschel Walker, and I don't mean this no disrespect to none of my Marine friends, but Herschel Walker couldn't have made it as a Marine, and we know it don't take a whole lot to be a Marine. You got the physical standard, but after that, you kind of dumb. You kind of dumb. You couldn't have made it. So, I'm from here, so I know a lot about the state. I know a lot about what goes on in and around. And I got a couple people who I work with they claim they're Republicans. And I'm going to say this loud and clear. I don't have a problem with any Republican. There are some good Republicans, black and white. My problem is with Retrumplicans who will not hear anything. They love to tell you things. I made a post about a month or so ago about my unhappiness with Joe Biden. Retrumplicans can't ever admit that he did anything wrong, which means you cannot have a civil conversation with him because they make it impossible. They want to tell you all the good things he did, and Trina can tell you. What's up, Trina? Don't be on her flirting with another man.
She ain't flirting with me, man. Hey. I was just about to say, appreciate the love on the beard. I'm like, I'm trying to bring you like a boy over here.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is how domestic violence started on the show in the hostile work environment, all in one segment. But yeah, where was I before? I was so rudely distracted by my finna be soon ex-wife who ain't got a green card that's beating me up. Go back to the post, y'all. Go back to the post. Where were we at? Shit. Oh yeah. You can't argue with Retrumplicans. And anybody who is in the political system understands whether you are a Democrat or Republican, Joe ain't passed the muster. But those of us who know, kind of like with Obama, we liked Obama because he was a professional, but there was a lot of things he couldn't do simply because of GOP. There's a lot of things that Biden can do because of GOP and Manson and that lady. He does have the lowest approval rating, but guess what the poll also said with the lowest approval rating ever? That if he ran against Trump, he still would have won. So that should have told the Republicans something. As much as people didn't like Biden, they still won't go vote for 45. And hold on, Sam, me and you cool. Did you really call me BVP? Oh, why would I hate a beard? I got a beard, brother. Stop playing, Sam. Stop playing. And it's like, Democrats will tell you they're not happy with Biden. They told you when we'll have a lot of things. Republicans will never admit that 45 has done anything wrong. It's always about he did this, he did that. And I have to give them another analogy. The fireman who saves the burning house, he's a hero till we found out he was the one that set the fire. Then we look at him differently. A lot of stuff that 45 did was in response to something else he did.
So wait. So now I'm gonna jump in because now we got to give the political lesson for today.
Go ahead.
And I've always said this. I've said this since we've been doing this show since Obama, right?
Before that, I think. No, it was doing. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is something that people have to understand. We are now where? At the midterm point from the election, correct?
Yep.
So it's been 2 years since Biden has been in office, right?
Yep.
People, this is where his stuff starts to take hold. I've always said the same thing. The first 2 years of a new presidency is a reflection of whatever happened in the previous administration, because they have yet to have any laws or anything else take effect or really go into effect, or we are still dealing with the ramifications of things that were made law prior to them becoming into office. So the reality is, and I just didn't say because I didn't feel like arguing with nobody, but the fact is that all the issues we are still dealing with are issues from the last presidency. Now, as we move forward going into next year, all this shit is Joe's for himself.
Exactly.
It is all him. He can't blame nobody at this point. He can't say nothing. It is all him.
And this is what I don't get. See, that's what great minds think alike. Because I tell everybody, the first 2 years belong to the last guy. The first 2 years of Obama sucked because of what he inherited from another Republican. And you know, everybody talk about with 45, how his first 2 years were great. He inherited a great economy.
Right.
He single-handedly screwed it up. But y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all want to talk about his first 2 years, which are always a reflection of what he got left. He was left a surplus of everything. Everything. Go figure. And I don't get that. But again, people don't get that. But come January, yeah, these next 2 years is joke. These next 2 years is joke. Which is why, if you understand politics, especially the POTUS, they tell you where he make a difference is his second, if you're good, is your second term. That's when you can truly make a difference. Because then in your second term, your first 2 years are finishing up your last two from the first term, and you can make a difference for the next one. So but you gotta know politics. You gotta know politics. As opposed to listening to Russian bots tell you, look at this, look at that. And like I said, again, as I'm getting more into politics, and people try to argue with me, and training some other people are talking, all we gotta do is share sites. Cite your work. But I don't cite CNN when I'm talking about it, because everybody like to say CNN is anti, which is funny to me, because CNN, when they do their fact checking, they went in on Obama, they went in on Biden. So I don't know how y'all think they so impartial. Or they so partial. Fox don't never do that. So don't give me a Fox website or some you know what I'm saying? Let's deal with one of the finance magazines or Newsweek. They can tell you the truth about money. They ain't got no biases. And that's all you gotta look at. When you look at the economy, put in there Google which presidents left us with the best economy. You're gonna see Obama in the top 5. Wonder why. They ain't got no biases. But we don't want to do that. And everybody want to tell us, oh, we fool, we this. You know, dude told me, oh, you just voted for him because he was a black guy. I said, but all the other ones, you voted for them because they was a white guy? You're stupid. You're stupid. I had reasons for voting for him. But, you know, I can play this game because I look at politics. I look at them. And as I was discussing with one of my friends, and Roy probably paid more attention to this, and Antoinette, I'm sure you did too. When you interviewed these people for Supreme Court justices, did they not say that they wouldn't touch Roe v. Wade under oath? So they lied. They lied. There's a penalty for lying under perjury. They lied.
Well, what they did is that they changed their minds after viewing the information.
But they had already said under perjury, under oath, that they weren't gonna do it. And it's so fun. I got one dude arguing me, talking about he was never impeached. You got to be joking. He was twice. Oh no, that didn't really happen. So you're stupid. You're stupid. And there's no need for me to have a conversation with you if you want to deny these impeachments. Do you know what impeachment is? Clinton, you can look it up. Clinton got impeached. We don't deny that. But what was Clinton? Clinton was still one of the best presidents. And Clinton's impeachment to me was really, really stupid. Because Antoinette, don't get mad at me. Trina, don't get mad at me. The president of the United States should be allowed to get blowjobs when he want to. And if the wife don't complain, ain't nobody else got to complain. Because in the midst of him getting a blowjob, how many people died? I'm thinking 0. You're the president of the United States. You should be able to get some from some of the aides and from the secretaries if that's what they want to do. That's just me. I know in this woke culture, which is what this show is going to be about, you can't say that because that's some kind of predatory thing. It ain't predatory. Trina, y'all know Trina, my wife, and me and Trina had way too honest conversations. Roy, Antoinette, did not most black women think that Clinton was hot, especially when he was playing that saxophone? They would have gave him some. He ain't had to harass nobody. Most of them was mad because he picked the fat white chick. And I know I'm probably get in trouble for that, but that's what she was. But Hillary didn't say nothing. I can't prove this, but I think Hillary set it up because I looked at Hillary's facial responses. Hillary ain't twitched. She ain't not stood by her man's side. She ain't did nothing. I think she set it up. And the chick who turned the dress in was mad because who keeps a dress with cum stains on it? Because that chick wanted to do it. And Bill was like, nah, I ain't going to do no old chicken head. I ain't going to do no old chicken head. What you got to say, Ross? I seen you laughing.
Well, you know, okay. Have you watched the show House of Cards on Netflix?
No, I haven't.
I don't even know if it's still on there because Kevin Spacey got into his thing and I think they took him off. Dude, first off, it's funny because it's a political show. House of Cards is probably the most realistic depiction of what Washington and all of that is really about. And the only thing I think is different in what they did is in the show, I personally think the show was about the Clintons. But what they did in the show is that they made the two primary characters, they made them Republicans instead of making them Democrats. Okay. But I really think it was about the thing about the Clintons because what it was about power. It's about the effect that the power that Washington being the White House gives you in the drug that power is, how it changes your thought process or how it make people do shit that normal people wouldn't do. That's why Hillary stood by her man. Because it's funny, in the show, the wife actually ends up becoming president. But you know, that was one of Hillary's goals. Hillary wanted the damn presidency, but worse than Bill did.
And she was that far from it.
That far? Yes, sir. The
and
people
Trina
came out the hills and voted for Trump in them states.
And they ain't gonna say nothing. We can't prove it. Hillary probably enjoyed a little bit Monica too. I'm sure they was all in the back, playing Pinocchio.
I don't know if it's still on. You gotta go watch. House of Cards. Even if you just watch the first season, boy, trust me, it's a whole adult show though.
All right, Trina, put that on our viewing list.
Yeah, it ain't nothing for the kids, baby.
When we get with this new woke thing and people don't understand this, and here we are now, and I'm looking at it. I'm not a Tiffany Haddish fan. She ain't funny to me. She ain't never been funny. She ain't gonna be funny. But she told a joke and got crucified for it because now you can't even be funny. So I made another post. Me and Roy around the same age. Roy, the shows we grew up on, how many of the shows we grew on were politically correct?
Shit, none of them.
The Jeffersons, oh my God. Richard Pryor would have.
The Jeffersons came out of All in the Family.
But you look at Richard Pryor, one of our favorite shows, Sanford and Son. Man, Red Fox would be so deep in trouble with everybody for calling Aunt all them names.
Badlax.
Badlax Fish. I mean, you know, always talking about how ugly she was. He would have been cited for bullying, sexual, all kind of stuff. But we love these shows.
Antoinette, I believe you're talking about Val Demings.
Yeah.
Down there in Florida. Actually, I know her and her husband. I lived in Orlando for 15 years. So I know both of them.
So how do we get to be so sensitive and and disconnected where we can't even laugh at stuff now. Richard Pryor was one of the funniest comedians ever. I don't care who you listen to. But he talked about cocaine, he talked about sex, he talked about some of everything. Oh my God, what's up, Keisha? But now you can't say nothing. You can't say this. Our parents taught us to be tough. We had fat kids, you can't say that now. We had skinny kids, you can't say that now. We had big head kids, you can't say that now. We had kids that rode the short yellow bus, we called them spads, you can't say that now. You can't say spaz, which to me is funny, because they saying spaz got something to do with cerebral palsy, but I thought spaz had something to do with having. I can't say nothing without hurting somebody's feeling, but don't everybody say they want the truth? So if you fat, what am I supposed to say? You're slightly overweight? No, you fat, right? You can't say retarded. I already got in trouble for saying midget, even though it's in the dictionary. And I'm confused on this new woke society where everybody is dumbing themselves down. And man, Keisha, I'm getting you back because I know you're here now.
Is Keisha the Giant? Is she a Giants fan?
Yeah, Keisha the Giants fan. Who spent her life being miserable because the Giants suck. Now I ain't seen the one on Bill Cosby yet, but when I'm looking at what we face with,
now I want to know what she talked about with Bill Cosby. I got a whole, you know me, I'm a conspiracy theorist, and that whole Bill Cosby thing. People can say what they want to. Bill Cosby was set up to destroy his legacy. Now let's be clear. Bill Cosby participated in his setup. Let's not make no mistake about that. He participated in his setup, but all that stuff, legally, the stuff that they did was garbage. I read all 52 of the depositions from them women. It's already been proven that the lawyer had 5 of them lying, that she paid them. The other ones just did a better job of hiding. But we gonna digress this. They had a point to destroy Bill Cosby's legacy. Is what they wanted to destroy from him.
And I'm gonna say this because I didn't like what was going on. I'm still confused about the statute of limitations because nothing that he was accused of had a lifetime statute of limitations. So I'm trying to figure out how they went back, because from what I gather, everything was more than 7 years. Everything was way more than 7 years. But again, as Roy said, we digress. We're gonna talk about football in a second, Keisha. I know you came for the sports portion, but I'm just trying to figure out.
Oh yeah, I wasn't actually saying that to come at her. I just said that's how I remember.
She was talking about how come she keep getting suspended by Facebook. And she know I'm gonna come for because I like to pick on her. But I was looking at something and I was having a conversation with my daughter, and me and Trina started talking. My daughter's 8. If she see Roy, she gonna say that man. If she see Keisha, she gonna say that woman. Now Roy gonna sit back, and I'm using Roy now. That's why I wanted him here. Roy gonna sit back and say, no, I identify as they. Well, that just means your ass is confused. You're not a they. I went to high school. I'm a graduate. Roy's a college graduate. They means multiple people, not multiple personalities. So if you identify as a they, that is cool. That is for you. But when we speak, I'm not finna call you they. I'm not finna call you she. I will respectfully call you Roy. I say, I work with a transgender. But I can't even say he was a transgender. I worked with somebody who was gay. Can I say gay and not mean happy? He was gay. He was gay. His name was Miss something. I ain't gonna say the whole name. But when I spoke, he was a he still. I respected him and called him by the name he wanted to be identified at. But I'm not gonna change pronouns to you. I'm educated. You are what you are. When you go to the bathroom, you're gonna still go to the one without the little Christmas tree look. But now we're supposed to respect them, and I'm cool with respecting everybody and their preferences until your respect disrespects me. So I'm supposed to be stupid and not know that you're a man or not know that you're a woman, and now I gotta acquiesce and say the right things to make you feel good. That ain't how we grew up. We had a name for these people. And I'm sorry. We're from Florida. I'm from Georgia. When we grew up with these people, Roy, and we won't call them by the name unless I accidentally let it slip 6 times. How many of them do you know committed suicide? for being called what they were. We were a tougher generation. They were overly happy. We called them names worse than what y'all hearing. And guess what? They survived. Everybody's so sensitive now. And they want the same people to be delusional. Because I tell y'all before, I hate woke people. I hate these third eye people. Everybody who got this third eye, I always say the same thing. You need to get you a better job where you can get a good insurance program. Because I'm sure they can remove this third eye. Because if you got a third eye and you seeing stuff that don't nobody else see, again, you're kind of stupid. Exactly, Antoinette. We all grew up on Schoolhouse Rock. We know what a person, we can play the videos. But I'm supposed to tell my girl.
Let me jump in there on that, because see, I have a different view of the situation. While I pretty much agree with you, my issue is this. Don't get pissed off at me because I don't know what you're trying to be called. If I don't know you. If I see you, and to me, you look like a man, or I'm going to call you sir. And until I address you, I don't know. That my biggest issue is the fact that people they want you to, like, you're supposed to know this stuff on them. Like, you're supposed to know what to call somebody. I'm like, dude, I don't know you. Woman, I don't know you. I don't know. How am I supposed to know what you call or what you want to be called if we haven't even been introduced? I mean, that's my issue. You can't hold people responsible for, and Trini used the right word, your choices.
Yeah.
If you choose to be whoever you want to be. Don't be mad at me, though, if I don't know that that's what you want to be recognized as. Because look, I don't know, because I'm saying this. I done met enough. Coming to Atlanta confused me. Let me say this. Coming to Atlanta really confused me. I'm sorry. I'm going to let y'all know. Coming to Atlanta really confused me when I started meeting more gay women and started meeting more, quote unquote, what we called in Miami, and I'm in South Florida, I'm gonna say it, we called them butches, because you could always tell who was the dominant male in a two female relationship, in a homosexual relationship. When I got to Atlanta, let me put it this way: in Miami, the butches didn't mind being called dude, they didn't mind being called bruh. That's how they roll. That's what they wanted to do. I got here to Atlanta and made the mistake one time because it was just a reflex. It was the first, like I said, it was the first time talking to a woman who was a gay woman, but she was a masculine gay woman. Again, I don't know, like I said, you use whatever words. And I called her bruh. Really, it was a reflex because of just how she looked. She dressed like a dude. They're like, no, I'm a man. Okay, excuse me. I'm like, didn't realize that. I didn't realize that's how you wanted to be identified with. Because I just took this from every other person I dealt with. That's the thing. So that's my thing. That's what we need to change. They got to stop being upset when people don't know how to address them. I think that's ignorant, and I think it's ignorant and very selfish to think that somebody just by osmosis is supposed to know how you want to be addressed.
And they shouldn't even have that authority. I mean, hell, if I want to identify as a white man, what happens? So now everybody got to. Can I start putting white man on my thing? If I want to identify, I identify as a pair of Nike shoes, cause somebody, we had a name for that back in the day. We called it crazy or loco. You are what you are, no matter how you identify. And yes, science states if you can't ovulate, that you are not a woman. I don't care what you get put in your body. And the insanity behind all of this is, I want to say there are now 8 to 12 states that will let you change your birth certificate. How scary is that?
Yeah.
So now even certain states are complicit with this. That is ignorant. They can have periods, but they can't ovulate. And
whoa. What the hell you mean a man can have a period?
She probably talking about our emotional state.
Oh, okay. I was about to be like, hold up, where the hell that come from?
Yeah, and if you want to join, Trina, you got the link. Come on here with us. But
I'm about to say, hold up. When a actual born male started having the damn period, if she be, I know they act like they on their period, but I got you. Okay.
Yeah, but we done had enough. We done had enough gay people on the show. Ain't none of them ever said, and most of them are specific. They ain't never identified as opposite sex. They just knew they liked the same sex. See, they ain't altering nobody's reality. Nobody. I ain't not one gay person I've ever interviewed told me to call them something other than normally what their mother calls them or what they called on the street. Never. And I've talked to a bunch of them because I wanted to understand this phenomenon. I want to understand why they want us to acquiesce and bite into Donald Trump's alternate reality. Because you are what you are. Now, again, you need. Oh, okay. She said you're supposed to read it with sarcasm. Right? So yeah, if you got a T-shirt on or a name tag or something, yeah. If you want to be something that's different, wear a rainbow colored name tag. But you don't want to be singled out until you get singled out. You know, so ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. And it's one of the dumbest things that's happening in this 21st century, that they getting so much power that we acquiescing to now we just don't want to talk to people because we don't want to say the wrong thing. We don't want to say, I'm from the South, and y'all know I'm a Southern gentleman. Sir and ma'am is part of my dialect. When I see Antoinette and I say, yes, ma'am, Antoinette to my I identify as a man. Okay, ma'am, that sounds like a personal problem. On your name tag, it needs to say Tony with a Y, because if it's an I, I'm going to still think you're a girl. And these little things, this whole woke thing is getting to be so overrated, and it's so tiring. It's so tiring, and it's insane how they push it down our throat. And we don't watch TV as much no more because I don't want it always thrust on me. And it's crazy to me. They push homosexuality. Remember all the old shows as we was growing up that didn't have no black people? They didn't force black. How many black people on Friends? Anybody know? In the 7,000-year history of Charlie Brown, they only had one black guy. He didn't have no parents. He didn't have no sisters. He didn't have no nothing. Look, our favorite cartoon, Little Rascals, had Buckwheat and Steinman.
The brothers, right?
That was it. But now you can't watch a show without having gay people on it. But they skipped all over the black people when we were underrepresented. What happened? What happened? Because again, and I wasn't a Friends person. I think Trina said she watched Friends, but Friends, I did watch Cheers. How many black people do y'all remember from Cheers? How many black people were on Speed Racer? How many black people did we have in cartoons? Now, what's the black guy name on Sesame Street? Anybody know?
Well, there was always black people on Sesame Street.
What's the black Muppet name?
Oh, dude,
okay, my point exactly. But we always suspected something was up with Bert and Ernie, so they was ahead of their time. Rob, what's that look? You like your alarm going, huh? Can you hear me?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, there it is. For some reason, my thing just went off. My thing muted itself. Like, what the hell?
Trina Elmo Red, stop playing. You trying to say he light skinned? No. Oh, Roosevelt Franklin was the guy from Peanuts, though, wasn't it? Franklin.
Franklin was the guy from the Peanuts.
Yeah, Franklin was from Peanuts. And it's crazy how, again, we got overlooked so quick, but now you can't watch a show that don't talk about gay people. And I ain't saying it ain't a bunch of them, but it is. But it ain't it's not a what do you call it? It's not a class. It's not a class of people. What application on that has anything about sexual preference or orientation? It's got male, female, and what else?
Race.
Undecided. I mean, when under sex, what do you get to put? Do you get to put undecided? Do you get to put up in the air? Do you get to check? I don't know. Depends on what day it is. So,
like it's funny though. So, and I get what you're saying. I think one of the things that it does happen in, I do think in some instances that it distorts the stories that we're doing. Because like I watched the first season of Empire. I watched it. We all know I was a Taraji fan, so I watched the first season of Empire. But it really just got to the point where it's like just way too much for me.
Yeah, they
stuff that you just don't, you're not trying to see. So apparently at that point, the show wasn't for me. Now, honestly, I was rewatching the show the new Star Trek show Discovery that came out that has the black young lady as the captain, Sequoia Martin Green.
From Walking Dead.
Huh?
From Walking Dead.
Oh, that's what she was in?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that. I ain't watched The Walking Dead. Okay, well, but anyway, that show actually last night, it was funny. I was rewatching the season finale of it, the last 3 episodes of
it. With Stacey Abrams?
Huh?
With Stacey Abrams?
Yeah, when she was in the last one, right.
Yeah, well, her no acting ass.
It's funny to me because the thing that got me emotional about the last 3 episodes was literally, it's the first time that I can remember, and I don't know how long, that they showed a dynamic, complex, heterosexual black relationship, but that had both of the people still coming back together in the end. And her showing real remorse when she thought that the man that she loved died. When he thought he was gone and not being able to come back. And it was crazy to me because the other thing that I said about it is that they actually do a good job. They had 2 transgender characters,
right,
a gay couple, and then another gay character in the show. And they talk about it in different places, but it's not like it was thrusted at you and they didn't drop it in places where it didn't have nothing to do with the story.
Right. They got interspecies, but it ain't the headline.
Well, right. But I'm talking about even specifically with the gay and the transgender stuff.
Right.
Like the stuff that they did, it didn't bother me. It showed one of the things it showed me healthy relationships. I'll give them that. It showed the complexities of dealing with different relationships and stuff. So that's what I think that we missed, is that it's at a point now where you're putting it in stories where it's irrelevant. And people are just looking at it like, okay, now if you're going to write a story arc for an episode, that's what it's about. It's about dealing with people dealing with that or dealing with people addressing that. That's a different story. So, but yeah, like I'm going back to what you said about black people. That was something I thought about, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I never did watch the This Is Us show that everybody talked about, and they said that was a real good show, and that the guy Sterling Brown and him and his wife character showed a really good relationship with black people. But it's like, other than that, I mean, outside of that one, man, I never saw that. Trina, what you confused about? Because
and it's okay to have them. I ain't gonna never get around that, but they don't need to be the theme of the show. We can't. It's like, why you can't have black people on the show? It ain't about them being black, but they come through. Like I said, they had a bar. Cheers was a bar. We like Cheers. No black people. I'm trying to. Hey, what's up, Karen? It's been a minute. I can't ever say I saw one on Golden Girls, which was hilariously funny, or Maul. Where the black people at? But as soon as they get a chance to throw some alternative lifestyle people in there, they jump at it, and then they force feed the relationship. You should be a good enough writer that sex ain't got to be part of a comedy or something else. Because it's like, y'all gonna make us watch these 2 dudes kiss. It can't. As Robert saying, on Discovery, it's a pick. You don't never see intimacy with them. It's never that. You might see the intimate moment of them crying together or them sharing a moment, but it's not sexual intimacy. And that's crazy. But again, they force it down us, and then we got to respect these people and call them by the name that they want to be, even if it goes against nature, science, and everything we've learned. Oh, that's right. Okay. But Florida, okay, I'm going to give you the answer to that. I don't remember being on Maul, but I'm going to give you that. But it's insane how we do these things. And it's insane what they trying to force on us. I ain't got no disrespect for nobody gay. I truly don't. I ain't got no disrespect for midgets. I truly don't. But you are what you are. And I shouldn't have to change my reality. And, Trina will fuss at me. Well, it wasn't Trina. I'm going to take that back. I'm going to say, you got to call them little people. No, my daughters are little people. Ain't that what we call our kids when they're growing up? We call them little people. See, I don't know. Can we say Geechee now? But Geechee was, for us in the South, Geechee was something that we knew about. It was people who, but hey, and now we got to ignore all this.
Hold on. Back up. What was Geechee? Because
Most geezers were from New Orleans. They spoke a different language, and for us, they hung around railroad tracks. But they were all short, dark skinned, and they had French something. It always sounded like they were French, but they were always
being geeky because they used to call me geeky all the time because I used to like eat rice.
But yeah,
that's from the
But you were short too. How tall are you now?
5'9.5".
Okay. Well, how tall are you when they were calling it? Because you remember Geechee Dan from Uptown Saturday Night? Harry Belafonte was Geechee Dan.
They told me they called me Geechee. They say because they say Geechees eat a lot of rice. That's why they call me.
Okay, and that was another interpretation of it. But Geechee Dan came from Uptown Saturday Night, and another Saturday night with Harry Belafonte and Calvin Lockhart and all of them, and it was Harry Belafonte. So it's a lot of things that happen, and all of a sudden we don't get the same respect, but everybody wants us to respect it because everybody woke now. Oh, we got to do this. Oh, we got to do that. And it's insanity. This new woke generation. And they try to act like they're so intelligent when everything they're saying is about denying the truth. Denying the truth. How can you deny the truth? The truth is, as I look here and see Roy on my camera, Roy is a dude. Now, if Roy, and we're going to use, because I know Roy ain't sensitive, if Roy done got the operation stuff and Roy don't never take his shirt off and we don't know no better, Roy can't get upset because we say sir to him or call him a him. And then, did you see have y'all seen the one where the two transgenders, guy converts to girl converts to guy. Guy who was born a girl gets pregnant by her wife who was born a man. What in the hell? So the man in the relationship is pregnant by the woman in the relationship. Make all this make sense to me, and we supposed to sit here and, well, you got to be respectful of them. No, I actually can ignore them like I do a lot of other people. But y'all forcing this down me. So now I'm supposed to tell my daughter that men can get pregnant. And then y'all wonder why we're so confused and delusional. Because everything that we know is being warped right in front of us, and we're being forced to warp along with it in the name of keeping peace and being respectful. But nobody respects our sanity. How would we feel if they told us that January 6th was a picnic on steroids? We saw it. We saw it. So when we get to all of these illusions, and the woke people tell us something, where's the line? Where's the line? And what did you start to my first ride? I said I was gonna get back to it. Oh shit, I don't know. See, television serves the primary source of America's social. Man, don't be using words I can't pronounce. Socialist education. We spend most of our woke watching and listening. But what are we learning from it, Bobby? When do we learn reality? When do we fact check? When do we read? When do we require people to read and then come back and articulate stuff? I'm all for change. But change should make sense. And now we sit back, can't have abortions. That's the side of the fence anybody can be on. Legally. But who really is the only person who is really, truly, the only person that's affected by pregnancy? Really and truly, who is the only person affected by pregnancy? And this is 100% of the time. It's the woman. It's the woman. Roy ain't affected. He may go through some symptoms. He got to put up with stuff, but Roy ain't affected. But we got a bunch of dudes, a bunch of women who can't have kids, a bunch of women who don't have kids, regulating everything. And it's insane to me. And I'm looking at some of the unintended consequences. Unintended consequences. Georgia has the heartbeat bill. Georgia is now going to require that men start be responsible for child support at 6 weeks. Georgia and a couple other states are now saying you can put this unborn child with no social security number on your taxes. I'm trying to figure out how that's going to work, because taxes require social security number. And what happens, and this ain't wishing bad on, but what happens if the baby is stillborn or doesn't live? Does the guy get his money back? What happens with the tax situation? All these crazy things that are going on now was something they didn't think about. The only good thing so far that I've seen from this anti-abortion stuff is now states are thinking about making DNA mandatory. And I've always been a fan of that, but again, it's going to have unintended consequences, because now when married couples have babies, the law in every state I know of said it's the husband is the father. That's just a general rule of law across the country. What happens when they do this DNA test and it come back that it ain't his? It's going to be some problems.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole lot of relationships. But the truth is, though, I've always said that if you're going to require a man to pay child support, there should be a DNA test. I mean, that to me, that's just the way that it should go.
And legally speaking, it should be, though. If we're going to make this a matter of fact, how do you prove this matter of fact? Because, and I'm going to use me and Trina now. If Trina say I'm her baby daddy, she's making an accusation. The law says I'm innocent until proven guilty. That's what the law said everywhere. How can you make me do something I ain't been proven guilty of? Because she said it? Well, again, that's not how the law works. So let's do this DNA test, and then once it happens, boom, we're there. Even if I agree that I am, and I think to me, the option should be taken away, because some guys are going to agree because they don't want to know. Ignorance is bliss. But the wrong time to find out is when your baby need a transplant, and you find out you can't donate because you done spent 10, 12, 15 years in this child's life lying to them because no matter, I still love her like mine. That's fine. You can love them like yours. But realistically speaking, and all these things are coming with a lot of unintended consequences that ain't nobody thinking about. But with this baby, and this baby in particular, all these tests that these babies get when they first born, why not go ahead and get a DNA swab? I'm not a fan of this providing support at 6 weeks.
Look, the most least invasive of all the tests they can get.
Right. The downside is it's gonna take a minute, but come on. When Trina, you a mother. Antoinette, I think you a mother. Sam, all y'all. Karen, when do you truly need your child's birth certificate? You don't need it till you enroll them in school. So if you got to wait 6 weeks to get a birth certificate, if you got to wait a whole year to get a birth certificate to run this DNA test, what have you actually lost? Only somebody who loses, is the husband or the name father. If it ain't him, he don't. But even then, at worst, he lost a year versus 12. I don't see why that's even insurance shouldn't even worry about that. It ain't an expensive test unless you rush it. But all these things, right? When they go to school, how old are when they go to school? At best, they 18 months. If you put them in a nursery,
nursery, yeah.
What you need a birth certificate for so early, Trina? Because once you get a tax number, a social security number, what do you need the birth certificate for? Because the hospital record the birth, so if you need services, you can get that. But I ain't never been a mother, so Keisha, Trina, Antoinette, school me on what you need a birth certificate for so early. And as we wait on them to respond.
Yeah, I don't remember us needing. I don't remember us needing either of my kids' birth certificate for anything up until the point we got ready to do something with them legally.
Okay, Trina, you're saying no, not in New York, but you're speaking. What's not in New York? Because you're saying you had to use your kid. Trina, come on and log on. You need it for everything in like that first year. That's what we're saying. Everything like what?
We didn't need it for any doctor stuff when we did ours.
And maybe that's a New York thing.
Yeah, because I know in Florida we didn't necessarily need it. We had it because we were married, like you said, we were married, so I signed the birth certificates from the rip.
Roy, can you send her the link?
Yeah.
Okay, and again, okay, I said Keisha saying benefits, medical, WIC, and all that. And the thing is they can give you a temporary paper for this. And like I said, and we just saying if it take a year. And I don't think it would take a year. I want to say DNA tests can usually be done within 6 to 12 months. I mean, 6 to 12 weeks. My problem, 6 to 12 weeks.
They got DNA tests that don't take that damn long.
Well, I'm giving it a push, so I'm pushing it back that long, But yeah, but again, that's a waiver you can get while they get it, because they give you. It's kind of like having a driver's license until you get. You're right, you don't get it, but it ain't like they can't do it. It ain't like it's gonna hurt nothing. And all it's gonna be missing is the father's information. That's all it's gonna miss until you get the hard copy. It's kind of like, that to me, that's the easy one to work around. Because like I say,
you can, like you said, they can get a thing because you can give a document that states the child was born, what their blood type is, all the vital information that's on a birth certificate, you can give it to them. Because again, as you're saying, the reality of it is the only guaranteed thing that we know is that mother is the mother of the child.
And that's where I was going next. Based on some of these switches, and it's a whole lot harder to switch now. Yeah. Back in the day, it wasn't that hard to switch because they didn't have the security. Now to see a baby, man, it's like getting into Fort Knox. But yeah, but right now the only thing that's really consistent is the mother. The mother is known. You sent her the link yet?
Yeah.
All right, you should have the link, babe. See? And that's why we have these shows, so people can come on here and give us information. But yeah, everything that we're saying, even that, you can get a temporary for it. Because hospitals, in reality, based on what they do, hospitals can give you the social security number. If they're gonna be part of, because they're part of the record keeping process anyway. It ain't that hard for them to get everything for you at birth. And again, they can do all this they can do most of this within a 72-hour window. Because however you got to the hospital, whether it was insurance, whether you don't have insurance, the hospital still can't turn around. They keeping track of everything that's going on. They keeping track of all the numbers. So that's just one, again, unintended consequences as you're revamping the system. Because if they're allowing you to now change your birth certificate from male to female or female to male, they're giving them power to make changes in the system. If we're going to change the system, we might as well make the system be better. Birth certificate from male to female or female to male.
You don't. Can you hear me?
If we're going to change the system, we can hear you.
Yeah, you don't get a temporary birth certificate. Hospitals do not have social security numbers right away. Can you hear me? Hello?
I think you got
your window, Trina.
Huh?
The show was in the background.
Okay, I just had to close the paper out. But yeah, you do not get a temporary birth certificate. There's no such thing. Hospitals do not have social security numbers right away. It can take up to 2 weeks for you to get your social security number for your baby. 72 hours, we wish. It can take a while to get that stuff. That stuff is not filed immediately.
No. And I got that. But what I'm saying is, as they doing this new stuff, if they start this 6-week thing, all that can be part of their own process, and everything can be streamlined to keep you away from this other thing. What's up with your picture? You trying not to show your face?
What's up with my face?
Yo, we don't see you.
You don't need to. The way I look ratchet right now.
Anyway, so
I got on a robe, my hair in a bun, my face dry and crunchy. No, I'm not getting on camera.
So, but what is it that you need when you first get out of the hospital that you need a birth certificate for?
But well, you like the other lady said, the medical records. I mean, appointments. You need that birth certificate for so many things. Like the birth certificate, And that Social Security card, once you get it, it's like you need them 2 documents for everything for like that first year. Then after the first year, it's like you never use it again until you put them in school. But you need that birth certificate, that Social Security card.
Okay, how soon is the first appointment when you leave the hospital?
It's usually like within the first week. Usually within the first week. But that one, within the first week. I want to say Janai, probably 2 days after she got out the hospital. But yeah, it's usually within that first week. They got to get their well child visit. At least
I thought it was like
for mine. You know, I don't know about.
I think you're thinking about shots, Roy.
No, I'm thinking about we didn't have to go back to the doctor that soon. And my son was a preemie.
And maybe all states are different, but yeah, I had to take my daughter to the hospital 2 days after she got out. After she got out the hospital. And then again, I don't know if mine is different because I have preemies. I don't have full-term babies, so I don't know. You know.
Okay, you know what? And that may be it. Because I like I said, I was thinking my son was a preemie. And I'm trying to think that well, he stayed in the hospital because he was a preemie. So we didn't have to take him immediately because he basically had been there. You know,
and see, they still, even when they're preemies, when they get out the hospital, they still have to go see a regular doctor. It's scheduled by the hospital. Because like my youngest daughter, she was in NICU for 8 months. And they actually had, because the first appointment it's like a hospital computer generated appointment, blah, blah, blah. So I actually had Child Protective Services come knock on my door because I didn't take her to a first appointment. They looked at it like neglect, but I'm like, wait a minute, she's still in the NICU. But because it's auto generated. But yeah, you gotta take them babies to the hospital like shortly after they get out. They still have to see a regular doctor, even the NICU babies.
Cool. And that's what I'm saying. Now we can streamline the system and make it more efficient, because if we just use normalcy first between going to a doctor and going to the hospital, that's a system. So there's a record of everything. And, you know, you can speed up the process if you're going to make the hospitals part of everything. If they auto-generating this, like I said, they know these things are coming. I don't see where it's that hard, especially the way things are now. So if this is what they want to do, they got to be prepared, but we got to be prepared. Like I said, I'm against this 6 week thing. I understand it, that as a father, let's just say me and Trina ain't married. I'm still responsible for half of this, maybe, which is why the DNA test is kind of important. Because should I be forced to pay for Trina to go to prenatal care and I'm gonna just use Roy because we all know each other. Roy's actually the daddy, but Trina said me. How am I being forced to pay something when I haven't been proven guilty or something? I think this whole thing is opening up a big box of worms that they ain't prepared for. Because what happens now when you falsely accuse me of something? And you know, it's the system now says I got to prove I ain't the baby daddy, which goes against jurisprudence, which is the law. The law ain't said I got to prove myself innocent. The law says I got to be proven guilty. But Trina can name me as a father, and I can get hit with child support. Now I got to go through hoops to be proven that I'm not. These are the things that, at 6 weeks now, that's what I'm saying. Karen and Georgia, at 6 weeks now, they got a bill proposing that the father is starting to be responsible for child support. That and that would be invasive, because there's a system where they can go inside the womb to pull DNA, and that's what a lot of people were against, because now that is invasive, and a lot of people don't like that. But how you gonna make them pay it 6 weeks without doing this? And you know, that's a system they got to figure out. I mean, put it on the account and charge it for it. Yes, sir.
But hold up. Why is it that it don't take 6 weeks? Y'all, hell, police can get DNA samples back from somebody in 2-3 days. What the hell? But
we talking about in utero now, Roy.
We talking about after the damn baby born.
Because
you got the daddy already, you get the damn baby.
But you gotta remember now, most of the time the way DNA is, criminals come first. And there are lots of trials, and that's why sometimes you can't get it that quick. It should be easier with them, but on the priority scale,
that's another business. That's a business opportunity. Hell, I need to look into doing birth DNA. Quick DNA stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, on a priority level, the babies ain't coming up first. It's finding DNA from crime scenes, and when you find a dead body, all these gonna surpass a newborn. All of these are gonna surpass them. Keisha says that's stupid too because the mom ain't incurring child support expenses. Well, Keisha, and part of what they talking about is helping with prenatal care, because a lot of especially people of color, they're not getting the prenatal care because they can't afford it. They're not doing the things because they can't afford it. Lord knows, I've interviewed too many women with kids who don't have a car, so they can't get back and forth. So I understand part of it. I'm still against it because 6 weeks is too early to determine anything without invasive procedure. And Trina had preemies. Knowing that she's high risk. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
Even without, it's like, and I hate to keep cutting you off, but it's like if I don't, you won't stop talking. I'm sorry. I love you, babe. But
I can't.
but as far as the not being able to afford prenatal care, I'm speaking from a place of just my own experience, because I certainly don't know everybody's and where they live and everything. But from my experience, it's kind of hard to not get prenatal care, even if you can't afford it. I mean, I kind of was broke as hell on Medicaid. Get Medicaid, you got prenatal care. So yeah, I don't get that. With all of these free clinics or low income and Medicaid stuff, I don't see any reason why anybody can't get prenatal care.
Well, and because they start closing down a lot of health clinics, and mothers stop being able to go so far to get to this hospital, get to that hospital, and even though hospitals can't deny you, they weren't giving them the same care of parents with insurance, and it became a beast of burden where it's almost like you ain't never been to graded, but it's kind of like going to graded. If you're uninsured, you sit on one side. If you're insured, you sit on the other side. Mm-hmm. The uninsured ain't gonna get seen before these insured people get seen.
Right, absolutely.
So they get tired of waiting. So then they just keep falling back. And it's a sucky system. But when
but that's at the hospital, and see, like when the times I was pregnant, I didn't go to hospitals for my appointment. There's clinics for that. You go to clinics for your prenatal appointments, not hospitals.
But that's what I said. First, they start closing down the health clinics. That's why people end up having to go to graded. They start closing down our health clinics in the hood. Every hood I grew up in that had a health clinic. When I go through now, there's no health clinic there. There's none. Where we used to go and, as you say, reach into that candy jar and grab 10 or 15 condoms. Most of them are gone.
Wow.
So they made it so you had to start going toward hospitals because the free clinics. Like we got one out here in Douglas County. But as big as Douglas County is, and hell, we only look at that one. But what are other ones? So if you don't live near Douglasville, if you live at like some of these places that we drive to, that's a long way to go for some of these people. Mm-hmm. And that was how it happened, that they start taking away resources, and then all this happened because if you don't have a car, you're going through this.
Right.
And so yeah, it was a screwed up system, as we love to say. It wasn't meant for us. It was meant for people who could afford to do all these things. This whole 6-week thing is meant for people who can afford to do it. Because again, this is what I wanted to ask you. How invasive would it have been to try to get DNA when you're already at a high risk pregnancy?
I wouldn't have did it. There's no way I would have done it. They literally what is it called? I don't know why I can't. The word is fleeing my mind right now. But they're literally taking a needle and sticking it through your belly into your uterus to obtain the fluid. The amniocentesis is what it's called. The amniotic fluid. In order to do that, for somebody like me with my height, it probably would have put me in labor.
And like I said, and they doing so many things now that are making it. Some of them going, like I said, the unintended consequences. They didn't think any of this out. They just knew they wanted more babies, but they didn't think about any of the unintended consequences. I'm a big fan of this DNA after birth, at birth. Like I said, again, if it take. I'm gonna stick with this just for safety's sake. If it takes 6 to 12 weeks to establish DNA, me and Roy, if we're married, we're gonna take care of our kids anyway. So it don't really matter. If we find out some bad news, we're gonna be pissed, but we're gonna still take care of our kids. For the other people, and I'm gonna use you, Trina, because you ain't never been married.
Never?
I'm sorry. Well, you never been married before me. Hush your mouth. See, that's man, Roy. How do we get rid of these harassing people? How long does it take to get child support?
Roy on my side. I compliment his beard today.
Mm.
Keep it like that, Roy. I like it. I love it. Look good.
Am I really that shallow? Good gosh, no.
Yeah, yes, you are. Yes, damn it. Today you are.
Look, I'm just being on your side because I don't be wanting nobody's wife to be mad at me. Look, let's get it real. I'm
fine. No more compliments for you.
Look, when I need D to do something, I need him to be able to, hey, like, Roy need to holler at me about something. Can I go? Be like, yeah. I don't need you to be like, yeah, no, fuck that thing, bro. Go on,
and you must don't know who I am and how much pull I have. Anyway, let's get back to the show.
That's my point. Is she missing my whole point, D? That's why I'm on her side. Because I know what a power line of marriage.
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed it. It went right over my head. Let's get back to the topic.
But how long does it take to get child support when you're not married?
I don't know because I filed years later.
Right, and under what it looks like is under this proposal, there is no more you got to file. It's all being done automatically, and that's why with the DNA, it's everything's gonna be tied in now. And like I said, if you have to wait 6 to 12 weeks for the DNA results, it's still around the same time you got to wait anyway. So
That's a long time.
What, 3 months?
6 to 12
well,
months.
Like I said,
DNA results?
no, not 12. I just said 6 to 12 weeks. What's done with divorce? Keisha. Yeah, to my child support. Oh, yeah. Then it's all part of the same packet. But I was just trying to use single mothers to get a better understanding of when the whole process starts, because 9 times out of 10, they have to start the process. When you're married, the process starts with their court hearing. Mm-hmm. But again, the father is already presumed to be, the husband is already presumed to be the father because we never had a DNA test. And, sometimes just sitting back watching paternity court, man, that's some of the most hilarious shit going on with some of these people, what they find out. But that's
some of the most pathetically sad stuff going on.
Yeah. And unfortunately, some of them been married. Some of them been married. And they ain't the father. I mean, we've seen stories where the father tries to donate bone marrow or something, and he's not a match for his child. That's got to be heartbreaking and ultimately depressing to find out a child you've been raising for 10, 15, 20 years ain't yours.
Yeah, that's the kind of shit that be pushing brothers over the edge.
Yeah, that's the first 48 show.
Yeah, so we had that conversation with somebody. I was like, yeah, I don't know. I can't even. That's one of the situations. I said I couldn't even imagine finding that situation out. Like 20, 30 years into my child's life and that being it. That kind of shit make you snap.
It's crazy. But yeah, like I say, and these are the things that's going on that we so caught up in other stuff that we're missing. And we get caught up in this. And, I tell you about, we can multitask. And that's what we got to learn to do and stop telling people they should focus on. But look at bigger pictures, prioritize what's important for you and your world and how it's going to affect the next generation. I didn't, we got one daughter, 8. This anti-abortion thing, it affects our whole way of thinking. It's affected a lot of women's way of thinking, and in a bad way, because the ones who are most affected had the least amount of say, and that's insane. And it's the one time that I was telling Trina, I was pushing Joe should pack the course and revisit it, because that's his only option. Pack the course. Because clearly we were lied to. But guess what he did? He started doing stuff on his level where he could override this. And you see them GOP, they quiet about all little things he set in place so that women can still get abortions. They can still get the care. But they gonna never tell you about none of that. They're gonna switch the subject to Ukraine or something. And I'm cool with that. But like I said, when we're talking about real life and being woke, we got to stop letting people tell us what's woke for us. And when they tell us some woke stuff, we need to verify that make it make sense. Because Yeah. Do I care what's happening in Ukraine? I do, but is it at the top of my list? You know, I was having a political argument with somebody, and they was like, why do you keep saying how many Americans got killed? There are other races. The president of the United States is responsible for one group of people and one group of people all the time. They're called Americans. They're not called Ukrainians. They're not called Russians. They're not called Polacks. They're called Americans. So yeah, that's more important to me. Who do I single-handedly blame for killing most Americans? 45, because he knew about a pandemic and he lied about it continuously. And if you watch the interview, he told Bob Woodward he knew it was a pandemic. He knew people were gonna die. But what did he tell American people? Oh, it'll be gone by Easter. Obama faced what, two, three pandemics? I know he did too. I think it was 3 pandemics he faced though. We didn't lose 1,000 people. I don't think we lost 100. So I'm confused on what it is we're focusing on when we don't like the narrative. And I want us to have intellectual conversations so we can learn, but don't keep trying to push a false narrative because you don't like the facts of this or the facts of that. But we woke. Everybody is complaining or was complaining about gas prices. Funniest thing ever. Now the gas prices are going down. Ain't nobody saying nothing. Watch the news.
Ain't nobody saying, look at Biden lowering the gas price.
I ain't got no credit for that. Look at the news because I've been looking at stuff. Oil prices are going back down. You seen Biden get any credit? Now they want to talk about Hunter. Hunter ain't the president. I don't care what Hunter did. Hunter ain't the president. If Hunter run the cocaine ring, Hunter ain't the president. But we keep changing narratives to keep us away from what affects us and what's real. What affects Trina? What affects Roy? What affects DVP? What affects Antoinette? Because these people keep getting us to focus on something else. But even when gas is $6. Guess what? If I got a job, and let's just say I'm making $12, the average hoopty is going to get at least 10 miles to the gallon. So if we do quick math, I need 10 gallons to get to work every day. That's my car gonna get 10 miles to the gallon. The average tank is at least 15 gallons. So 150 gallons, 20 miles each way. That's 7 days I can work. What am I complaining about? Because I still need to make this money. But I'm buying shoes, I'm buying TVs, I'm spending stimulus money on crazy stuff. Rent prices is out of control. I'm gonna use Roy again. Roy, me and you both got apartments. Our lease is up. We've been paying $700 a month for this rent. Now all of a sudden rent go up to $2,300. Why wouldn't we look at becoming roommates? And I'm gonna rephrase that. Ours is now, because I'm gonna use real stuff. Our rent that went up to $1,200, but we can get a 2-bedroom for $1,500 or a 3-bedroom for $1,900. Why wouldn't we become roommates?
Oh, because we grown black men. You can't be no roommate with no grown black man. You supposed to have your own stuff as a grown black man.
I gotta have my own shit. But if everybody working 60 to 70 to 80 hours a week to maintain, what do you need your own shit for? All you need is a place to sleep. So you'd rather sleep in your car because it's your own shit than have a spot. And I'm seeing this way too much because we love to talk about group economics until it's time to do it. And I'm watching, you won't even do group economics for self-survival. So I can't depend on you to do it for the survival of our race. That has got to be, that mentality is destructive unto itself. But we woke. What do you woke? You woke because you don't have nowhere to sleep. You woke because you're scared to go to sleep because somebody's gonna hit you while you got your little space up under the bridge. But you can't live with another person. And if you do it right, I work at daytime, I work at night. So technically I still got my own place because we're not bumping into each other. As long as we don't work at the same place at the same time, it's almost all to the good. But what difference does it make if you're trying to survive and get ahead? So you want to work 80 hours a week to pay for this apartment that you barely sleeping in now because you're spending all your time working.
And another reason, though, and I can speak to this one personally, that, hey, part of the problem is can't get no play. These sisters out here don't want a brother that ain't doing that. They don't, and again, this is one of the things, like I said, I can speak to personally. They don't understand that I have a business that I travel a lot, so I'm really not home a whole bunch anyway. And so if I do want to do something, I can. But, the fact that I have a plan where I want to buy at least 10 acres of land by the end of the year doesn't mean anything to them. They just looking at what I'm doing right now. They just look at what they can see. So,
right. And me and Trina talked about that because I don't know how many of y'all know, but I don't have no shame. When I got divorced, I want to live with my mother. I needed to. Oh, he went through four, but he went through four. I mean, no, that's three. Appreciate it, Sam. I knew it was 2 or 3. I want to live with my mother. I could give my mother money, helping her. She was less than rent, helping me. And I remember when it was like, oh, I don't mess with a man who live with his mama, so I didn't bother them. And they was like, oh no, your situation was different. No, when you said that, you didn't give a clause. You said you don't mess with a man who live with his mom. I could afford to get a hotel room because I was saving money. But had I got an apartment, all I would have been doing was working strictly to pay rent. I wouldn't be able to watch ESPN because I wasn't going to have cable. I was going to have to make sure I had 8 or 9 blankets because I wouldn't have been having heat like that. So
look, I knew some dudes. It was funny. There's something else that I found out when I first moved here to Atlanta, that I knew a bunch of dudes that was driving around in Mercedes, BMWs, and we talking about these high-ass leases. So they paying $500-600 a month for the car. Then, of course, insurance on it back then, insurance full coverage, because that's what they got. That's probably $700. Dude, going to the house, they got no furniture in their house whatsoever.
None.
I'm like, what the hell is the point of even having this place if you ain't gonna have no damn furniture?
Because you flossing for the women you trying to attract, who when they come over, they're gonna be like, for real? Oh, but I got a nice car. Oh, okay. You can get some now. But remember now, we also grew up in a way with women who look to see what kind of keys you had in your key ring at one point. And that's where we're gonna go as we close out, because this is 7:23 now. Everybody trying to impress somebody, again, because we woke. You're trying to impress somebody who don't like you. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. That's got to be the dumbest, top 3 dumbest phenomenons going on. I like Trina. Trina has said she don't like men with beards. I'm steady convincing Trina what she missing out on. Oh, you missing this, you missing that, you missing this. So when Trina finally give me a shot and she treat me like shit because she done told me she don't like men with beards, now Trina ain't shit. But she told me who she was up front. I just didn't want to listen because I wanted her. And I see this all the time with men complaining about what these women will do and what they won't do. A lady, I'm going to try to get on the show, she made a post about fellas. This is what women want to do. Women want to submit to you, but you have got to prove yourself. She wants to relax in your presence. And this is something that Trina has co-signed on without even knowing that this was what I was talking about. Women want to do these things once you give them permission through actions to relax. They don't want to be stressed out. They don't want to be stressed out. But what do? We stress them out. They want to know. They want to know that you truly got them. They don't want to hear you say it. They want to watch you do it. And guess what? Then you see them get to be a little bit more feminine. See, when you take care of her and treat her right, and you want her to wear dresses, she can wear dresses. But she can't wear dresses and she always got to do manual labor, because when her tire flat, she got to fix it because you can't change the tire. When the grass need cut, you can't do it because of whatever reason. She ain't going to do all this stuff with a dress. But when you allow her, fellas, ladies, Make him earn this. When you allow her to embrace her femininity, and again, don't get carried away. We know nothing applies to everybody. But when you allow most women to embrace their femininity, they embrace it full tilt. Full tilt.
You know, the one thing I will say to that, though, the caveat to it, is that she's got to be attracted to him initially anyway. It goes back to the first thing you said about the whole beard situation. Because she's not going, most women are not going to allow themselves, at least, let me put it this way, at least in my experience, they're not going to allow themselves to even get to that point with a dude that they're not attracted to that way.
Then right, he needs to move on.
But that's what I'm saying. And this goes both. I just used that one. But we see all these times where women keep talking about, oh, y'all missing out on this because you don't like this, because you don't want a fat girl. You missing this because you don't want this, because you don't like a short guy. You missing this. If they ain't what they want, why are you bothering them? They're already telling you, as me and Roy talked about personal priorities, you don't fit into that. So why ask to be abused? Let me read this to you right quick. Fellas, lady wrote this. Let me let you in on a little secret. Sometimes women be wanting to give it to you, but she waiting for your ass to be a little consistent so she can do security or hell, just dignity. Sometimes a woman be wanting to give it to you, but you acting too damn pressed to get it. Calm your ass down. Sometimes a woman wanting to give it to you, she just be wanting you to pay for that second date already so she don't have to feel like a cheap hoe. Sometimes y'all be in your own way of getting the goods. And, you know, one of Trina's favorite things she used to always love to say, she said, what do you do? Show do love sucking in your own thing. Because they promote themselves so much and not realizing everything you're saying don't work for her. And again, they so woke and thinking that they so great. One of Trina's things we used to always laugh about it. Trina, no, now I think the world of Trina. And I'm gonna use my co-host Roy. All men don't like small women. Some men like thicker women. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But why shit on a small woman? Because that ain't what you like.
Would never do that.
It just ain't what you like. But
take her from bare to thick. Gotta get it. Yeah, let me stop. That wasn't the
comment. You know what I'm saying? So, but and people know this, but they keep trying to persuade people. They keep, and again, Roy like thick women. And okay, so now we're gonna flip the script. Trina like Roy. Well, Roy wants Trina to gain 40 more pounds. Trina want to gain 40 more. Well, if Trina know Roy like thick women, and he has expressed this consistently, then Trina get with Roy, because Roy be like, all right, I give up. I'm tired of fighting against you. You want to do this, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And then Roy does what the average guy do. He has sex till he find him a thick woman to fit his bill. He dump you. Oh, he ain't shit. But he told you what he like. You ain't gonna fit that bill, but you're gonna try to force him to like what you like. Where in the hell did this phenomenon come from? Back in my day, and I know we old as hell, if somebody didn't like us, we moved on. We didn't try to force somebody to be with us because we like them. Because you're asking to be abused. You're asking to be abused. And then you play victim, but you signed up to be a victim. You signed up to be a victim. Yeah, I was trying to be politically correct. All right, let me just say this because I got in trouble. Trina says her saying is, and she right here on the thing, I don't know why she didn't just say it. Some men are so busy sucking their own thing that they don't realize that it feels much better when someone else does. And it's true. It feels much better when somebody else does. Much better. But they too busy.
Who the hell don't know that?
But bro, you see some of these guys, they so busy pumping themselves up talking about how great they are. Let somebody else say how great you are. Ain't that how business work? People sell your product for you. But we out here pushing all these narratives and we doing this. You know, Keisha who gone. I don't know what Keisha see here, but Keisha made a post one time about, yeah, the dude that get with her, he better like lifting up her breasts. You know what I'm saying? She know who she is. And
wait, say it here.
Keisha says, you know, Keisha says she knows she got flabby breasts. So the guy who get with her better like pull up her breasts. But this is a thing where you got to be honest with yourself and stop trying to make people. You stupid boy. Don't repeat. It's too late. I already repeated. It came in late. Okay.
She was talking about the quote.
But you know, we're so caught up in trying to impress everybody else that we lie to ourselves and we try to act like we're God's gift to whoever. Everybody ain't gonna like me and Roy. Some women like men with hair, with locks, so they can run their fingers through it. Well, me and Roy don't fit that description. So if a woman likes a man with long curly hair, what the hell are me and Roy doing in the line to apply for the job for? We already know that we don't fit it. Oh, well, I'm gonna hit her with my charm. She gonna like this charm. Oh, she gonna like these arms. She gonna like this. So we sitting there trying to fit a round screw into a square hole. And then we get mad with her when it don't work, or she get mad with us when it don't work. Because we've been so programmed that we can force our way on people and make them respect our differences. See, we got to call men women. We got to call people they. Asking somebody how they identify? What? What am I supposed to, what does binary mean? Right, and yeah, there are some exceptions that are made. But when we're talking about long term, and that's fine. But why get mad when you were told up front that you don't like something certain, and then you get mad and want to call everybody a name? Oh, these hoes missing out on a good thing because they don't. Well, see, that's your first problem, player. You trying to catch a hoe. Hoes ain't missing out on it. They all about the money. And I say the same thing when women be like, man, these niggas ain't right. If you look for niggas, I don't know why you expecting good prospects. Niggas ain't good prospects. Hoes ain't good prospects. Aim higher. Aim higher. When you aim higher, you'll do better. Have standards. Have standards. Trina accidentally participated in one of my test programs and didn't realize it. And she's like, it's funny. She went somewhere. A guy took her somewhere, and when he got there, Trina didn't get out the car. Because Trina is used to men opening doors for her now. And bam, guess what he did at the second stop? He opened the door. See, it ain't that hard. It ain't that hard. But when you expect nothing and you get nothing, you can't be mad because you got what you expected. And this is what we constantly doing because we're so used to negotiating and losing out. We're so used to negotiating with the intent on losing. And this is what we got to stop, and we got to do better. When the Arbery trial was going on, what were black people saying? I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised if they don't get convicted. One of y'all just hit y'all radio.
That was me. My bad.
Okay. I won't be surprised if they don't get convicted. Why won't you be surprised? We got to stop saying that we expect to lose and we okay with it. Because then when it happens, they know we okay with it. We can change the system. We can change the narrative. We can change the perspective. But we got to quit acquiescing to foolishness and fuckery in the name of making other people happy. Roy is unapologetically black. DVP loves himself some black women. I ain't got nothing against white women. Not nothing. I just don't want my own. I ain't never heard Roy say nothing disparaging about white people. Yeah, he even sent me a white guy video who wanted to be on the network and asked me what I thought. This is business. But his unapologetically black don't mean no white. It just means we ain't gonna apologize for being black or loving black. Being pro-black does not mean being anti-white. Being pro-people does not mean being anti-anything, but it's still about being in reality. And Trina says, lower no expectations prevents disappointments. And I totally agree, but it also prevents raising the bar because you can keep getting shitted on and you accept it so you don't get disappointed. Rule number 1, in the process of winning, you will incur losses.
Yeah, you know, that's one of the things that I've always had a challenge with when I hear people say the fact that they're like, oh yeah, no, I don't have no expectation. Like, I don't even see how you get into a relationship with somebody and not have expectations to them. That doesn't even make any sense to me.
Zero.
To me, yeah, you gotta be able to deal with that. It's just a reality. Yeah, you're gonna have these expectations. And we just got to realize that's, like you said, we win and we lose. Everything ain't going to be a win in your life. You're not always going to get, what you want. It's not always going to go the way that you want to. That's just.
You got something to say, babe? I see you unmuted your mic.
No, just in case I do.
Okay. And we talk about my favorite football player, Tom Brady. 7 Super Bowls, but he's lost 3. He's lost 3. Michael Jordan will tell you the shots he remembers the most are the ones he missed. If you don't have that drive to excel, you're going to accept disappointment and you're going to be stuck at mediocrity. And that's insane that we don't mind doing this. It's insane.
And not to mention that, when you don't have any expectations or you have low expectations of people, it makes them have, like you said, you have to raise the bar, but it makes them not feel the need to do anything. It makes them be selfish. It allows them to be selfish. Right. It's no different from if you let kids run amok, you don't make them call you sir, ma'am, or, mom, dad, or let them call you. Let them, it's like you give them the opportunity to run all over you. And then you have the nerve to be disappointed because they took advantage of your low expectations. But you set that up.
Or you can't understand why they treat you like shit. But you're allowing it to happen.
Right.
Because you ain't got no, and trust, I don't have no expectations. When I met Trina, when we first met, I had no expectation. We were not dating. She couldn't disappoint me or anything because we were just meeting each other. But once we got into a relationship, oh yes, there are expectations. Hell, there are requirements. But for a simple meeting or a lunch, yeah, I don't have no expectation. If it go good, fine. If it don't, fine, because I don't have anything invested in this. When me and Roy started doing this, and we had I can't say we had a disagreement. We had a misunderstanding. I went and looked at some green grass. It was dyed green. I came back because Roy left me with expectations of what the new place I was going to should be. See, Roy was my first. I didn't know what I expected. So when I wanted more, I didn't know what I wanted more of, so I went looking somewhere else. I was disappointed. I came back. See, because now I did have an expectation because Roy set me up for failure. I'm sorry, he set the other company up for failure because I'm looking for right. I came in looking for at least what I already got. But when you don't have any expectations in a relationship, in a business, in relation, whether it's personal business or whatever, come on, stop. Oh, I don't expect nothing from politicians.
And it's crazy because people really act like at least they say it with their mouth anyway, what they don't expect. And then when they don't get anything, they still have the nerve to be disappointed. Like, what the hell? If you're going to get disappointed, at least set some expectations.
But Samuel, why do a lot of court cases go the other way? One, we avoid jury duty. So a lot of things that go against us, it's because we're working against ourselves a lot of times. When we refuse to educate ourselves, we are working against ourselves. We want everybody to do the work for us. One of the things I love to talk about is because this was Roy's doing. When we first started doing this, when the people from Ferguson called in and I did my research and gave them a plan to stop what was going on, ain't none of them thought about that. They just sitting back, taking back whatever. They taking whatever. I got one of my friends on here to talk about all these people they got that are convicted felons. They can get their rights to vote back. But because somebody else was telling them they couldn't, they accepted that. Ferguson was what, 75-80% black?
Black. Yep.
But they weren't. So how do y'all keep getting these white people in charge? So y'all letting 15 or 20% of the community control everything. Because they was just told that was just the way it was. So y'all don't even vote. Y'all don't even vote. Y'all don't even try to change the situation.
Try. Yeah, they don't even
because
try.
You've accepted, oh, it ain't nothing gonna never change.
It's like it makes them give up hope.
But it ain't changed because you accepting that it ain't got to, so they ain't going to. And this is so easy. This is so easy to correct. This is so easy to correct. It may have taken me a moment, but when a woman's fed up and they give you something and Trina unhappy with me and tell me we headed on a downward spiral, if Trina is valuable with me, guess what's gonna happen? A change is coming. If I tell Trina I'm unhappy with something, Trina got 2 decisions to make. Do I want to keep them or do I not? If she don't, bam, if she do, a change is coming. But if I say, well, I don't expect nothing from her, then she ain't gonna give me nothing because I'm not pushing her to that limit. This is what we have got to stop with, this dumb saying of I give up, fuck over me, so I can complain about it. Because a lot of court cases go our way when we invest in them. We seen what happened, especially lately, especially here in the South. We done seen cops get convicted. We saw what happened with George Floyd. We saw what happened with Ahmaud Arbery. We see what's happening with all these cases. Whereas before, everybody like, ain't nothing gonna happen. Ain't nothing gonna happen. So when nothing happened, all we did was get mad for 2 weeks and keep moving. They knew that system was a way to work against us. Give us things that's gonna distract us. Start talking about gay people in Harper Valley PTA or whatever that means, whatever that is that they talking about, and we get distracted and we lose focus on what's important. We talk about how it's Biden's fault that the gas is $5, $6, but then when they don't tell us how great he's doing now with gas coming down to $3 and $4, we don't regurgitate that positive information because that's not what they're telling us to do. And this is why we got to control our narrative. We got to start saying it. We got to stop letting people tell us how negative to be, how we can keep each other down. Every time we call each other niggas and hoes, correct it or don't promote it. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, you know, that's just the way we talk. No, that's the way you talk. That's the way you talk. Stop it. We can control this. You know, on the page, I posted a couple of funnies. I don't know if y'all seen the post about the girl who went to whatever place she went to, Trent knows she went to. We're going to say it's Subway, though. And she ordered a BLT with cheese, and the lady wrote on the thing, BLTCH. It looked like bitch. Funny. You see people getting sensitive about it. Oh, she know what she was doing. They did that for publicity. Dude, it's just a simple effing joke. Laugh and keep moving. Or don't laugh, but keep moving. We get sensitive about the wrong stuff that, you know, I say, you can't tell a joke now. The thing Trina say about, you know, letting somebody else give you a blowjob, it'll feel better. Oh, you being disrespectful to the gay people. Why you got to bring blowjobs into this? That's so disrespectful. Oh, we're going to counsel you. What?
Everybody gets blowjobs.
We canceling you. You shouldn't be talking about that. And it's so insane how quick we want to cancel everybody for saying something that's politically insensitive. She can't call me bald because I might suffer from alopecia. So she has to say his hair is challenged to grow or some dumb shit because she can't call me bald no more. What the hell? When do we get this sensitive and everybody want to be attitudinal or sue or fight because she said bald? Oh my God. What happened to us? We became so woke that we missed every single thing coming. That's insane. That is insane. Why? How do we get there? Why are we staying there? Why do we stay there? Trina, how do you not get disappointed with low expectations? And don't you get tired of just shit? I'm tired of being here, but this is my reality. I just accept it. Is that what we're doing now? Is that what we're doing? We just gonna accept the failure and demise of our people in the name of no expectations? Is that what we're doing, Samuel? Are we gonna require our kids not to do nothing?
Like I said, they're afraid of the disappointment, even though they end up getting disappointed anyway. And then they're afraid of failure. You know, if they do try and they fail.
So do we not accept anything from our kids? Do we not have expectations of them because we don't want to consider them to be fair, so we ain't gonna never push the envelope with them? We'll never push it because it's okay. All right, Sam says it's not necessary to do the blacks being on the jury. There are cases that are just not taken to court based on the DA's decision. Exactly, Sam. But we keep electing these same DAs. They're elected officials. It took Fulton County 20 years to get one that we knew was horrible because people just kept, well, ain't nothing we can do about it. DAs are elected. If we know that there are these problems, why are we still electing these people? The DA in the Savannah case with Ahmaud Arbery. Look at how corrupt her system was. Let's see who they vote for. See, there's a lot we can do unless we accept that we can't change it. AKA Ferguson. You accept crap, so you get crap. You got a receipt for it, you sign for it. Ain't nothing you can do about it now. That's insanity. And what is insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. It's a new world. We got power now, but we refuse to exercise it. Why do we refuse to exercise it? Trina, is it not true that Black people can't be racist because we got no power? Ain't that the lie we keep telling?
That's what they say.
And then on the next phase, oh, we got the power to do this, we control billions of dollars, we can do this. Which one is it? Do we have power or do we not have power? Because I got power. Trina got power. We got the power to decide that our child is going to be homeschooled. We got the power to decide where we want to go eat. We got a lot of power. Oh, that ain't. Hey, you call what you call it. We can make a lot of decisions, and we don't need nobody's approval. I'm not sure how y'all do things where y'all need somebody to prove everything you do, that you give away all your power. Because what power are we talking about with white people? We looking at a former POTUS. Everybody think he got power, but look at how his world is crumbling. What does he got the power to do? Keep running. We gotta do like white people. We gotta start sticking together like they do. We keep saying crazy stuff, and then we argue against ourselves. And who is the one person you ain't never supposed to be arguing with out loud? Yourself. So how do you make a statement? Trina says, I'm the best wife ever. And then she look in the mirror and say, damn, Trina's a shitty wife. Trina, how you having the same argument? How you having competing arguments with yourself? Trina can say what I'm gonna do better, what she do worse, how we're gonna do this. DVP can do the same thing. This is what I'm not good at, this is what I am good at. Let me see what Trina think, then we can work get better. But I can't say how great a husband I am and then talk about how shitty a husband I am. Because it's like now, I'm looking for somebody to co-sign. So I don't know who I am until somebody says it. And these are personal conversations. If I'm a good husband, that's for Trina to promote. If she's a good wife, that's for DVP to promote. Man, I could do better, but you know, I ain't got a whole lot of expectations for this marriage, but I'm gonna just do it anyway because I ain't got nothing else to do. You see how stupid that sounds? Well, I'm just doing it because I don't want to grow old by myself. See how stupid that sounds? But this is what we settle for. And then we get confused when we don't get things our way. But if you don't want nothing, what is there to get? If all Trina wants is to get married, that's all she wants. Trina want to be a wife. And I talked about this earlier. She wants to be a wife. She don't want a good husband. She just wants to be a wife. So now she's a wife. She's set for life. So if I mistreat her or whatever, she don't care. She got what she wanted. And you know how we tell people, be careful what you ask for? She asked to be a wife. Now she's a wife. Let's see, they belittled themselves in Ferguson thinking that the BS they put up would never change. They did not look at themselves as right. Man, once we had the conversation and you could give them that, because to get better, it's just like doing this show when I have people on. I need your input. When I had Roy on, it's his show. But when Roy was here and Roy would give me feedback and we would bounce off each other, it was never, me and Roy never had a conversation. We ain't never had an agreement or nothing. When Roy told me I had to agree with anything he said, he got to agree with me. Roy don't even censor my speech. I can say whatever I want to say. He used to have a disclaimer in case I went too far left every now and then. But Roy didn't never say, D, don't say this. Stay away from this. He never gave me that. Never. Never. And when he don't agree with me, even when Roy say, I ain't going to say nothing in this show. Trent, how many times Roy done told that lie that he ain't gonna say nothing, and then when I say something he don't like, he click on his microphone? How many times he do that, Trent? He will click that microphone in a minute. Countless. Because I said something he didn't like. And but this is what the show is about. It's about trying to get better. And sometimes you need somebody to poke that bear, because sometimes we don't realize that we suffering in silence because we become so used to putting ourselves down that it becomes the standard. See, Trina is, and I heard Trina say this while we were dating. Trina never just made a statement about, I can't wait to get married or I want to be a wife. Never. She talked about some of the things she wanted in a relationship. She talked about some of the difference between her relationship with me and other people. She told me what she liked about being in a relationship with me. Hell, she told me what she didn't like about being in a relationship with me. Choices. We got choices. Trina could have said, shit, she ain't gonna be better than nobody else. I'm gonna just keep you around till I find something better. But she said, hey, I like you, but you got to do better at this, 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 and this. And then she told me one day, she said, yeah, I appreciate when you apologize, but I like it better when you change your behavior. Change behavior is way better than apologies. Because most of us have given fake apologies just to get through some shit. Did we really change who we were? Did we really change our mindset? Did we change anything else other than uttering those words out of our mouths? Oh, I'm sorry. And then as soon as she turned her back, I pushed her down the steps. Oh, I'm sorry. But at least she apologized. What the hell? But we woke. She got her a sympathetic man. Every time he beat her, he apologized. That's stupid. But he apologized, so he must have meant it. The things that we accept for no reason. The information that we accept that we can change and wonder. But we all woke. Let's see, it's 7:52. So I'm gonna say this before I gotta get my closing. There was a black activist I used to be friends with. He was telling people with the stimulus checks, don't pay your rent. Don't pay your rent. They ain't gonna be able to evict you under this, under this, under this. City of Atlanta, Keisha Bottoms has already said that the city of Atlanta won't be doing no evictions, which is a true statement. The city of Atlanta has never, ever in the history of evictions done evictions. It is a process done either by the Fulton County Marshals or the Fulton County Sheriff's Department. APD ain't got nothing to do with it. But he's telling these people as an activist, as a pro-Black person, not to pay their rent when they get this money. But what they should do in the middle of COVID is invest in his film company because he's going to hire over 1 million Blacks. Dude, look at Disney, look at MGM and see how many actors they got. You gonna hire 1 million actors in Atlanta? You are stupid and you are dumb. Anybody who believes this is stupid and dumb. I'm telling people, if you can't pay your rent, your mortgage, your bills, whatever, call these people and let them know. The biggest mistake we make is not reaching out and letting people know what we can't pay. Because that's when they think you avoid them. Because most of the time they still want some money. Y'all can work out something if you have a conversation. If you had a good bank or a good credit card company, they sent you a bunch of information. If you're having trouble because of COVID, call us and let us know. Call us and let us know so we can do something for you. People don't call. People don't let nobody know because they shame. They got too much pride, whatever it is. Then they start losing stuff. But we sent you all them letters and emails telling you to call us. Let us know you having a problem. You ain't said shit. So how are we supposed to know? We felt like he was ignoring us. Roy I know he got one daughter. Roy got kids. Roy call them, they don't answer. Roy call them, they don't answer. Roy shoot them a text, they don't answer. Roy shoot 2 more texts, they don't answer. Then all of a sudden they call, say, Dad, I need $1,000. Oh, now your phone work when you need me. But why you ain't calling me back I was doing this. You've been in school for 2.5 weeks, day and night that you couldn't call me back so you need $1,000. See, at some point, parents get tired of that. Nobody wants to feel like they're being used. Nobody. Roy's a daddy. Trina's a mom. Guess what? We know sometimes our kids ain't got time for us, but they don't take nothing but a quick text to say, hey, Dad, I'm thinking about you. Hey, Mom, I'm thinking about you. And they got us wrapped around their finger. We know y'all ain't going to talk to us no more for hours unless y'all want something or every now and then. We understand the system change, but don't disappear and then pop up and want something. That's how bill collectors feel. I tell people about child support all the time. If you ain't got a job, child support knows this. If you tell them, if you don't say nothing to them, they're gonna lock you up. I ain't had a job. Well, who'd you tell? Well, I thought y'all knew. Why would we know? You ain't calling nobody. You ain't saying nothing. We got to do better with the whole process. Everybody speaking out, but the people who need to speak out. Everybody who got the issues. We're so used to submersing ourselves in other people's negative energy that we put ourselves at the bottom of the totem pole. Trina's married. DVP is married. And I'm going to stick to this. If you don't ever put yourself first, nobody else will ever put you first. There are times that Trina needs to be selfish. There are times that Roy needs to be selfish. There are times DVP needs to be selfish. Samuel needs to be selfish. Keisha, y'all. There are times when it's in your best interest to put you first. Because if I know you ain't going to never do it, why would I do it? Why would I do it? We try to put our kids first most of the time. But when rent got to be paid and the kids got an event, you got to go to work. You got to go to work because they got to have a place to stay. You got to prioritize. We got to stop being fake woke and being upset about things that have no bearing on anything and do a better job at learning who the agents of change are and how to affect change. If your street's messed up, that ain't the president's job. If your school's screwed up, that's not the president's job. If you don't like the police department, that ain't the president's job. If you're not gonna vote, don't vote for president, but vote in your local elections. That's the one that directly affects you. Very few of us are affected by federal stuff. Federal minimum wage is $15. Everybody ain't getting $15. The feds say this. They don't affect everybody. Which is why I hate when people bring up that damn federal crime bill. That federal crime bill was for federal crimes. It wasn't for local crimes. But everybody keep talking about, oh, Biden started putting black people in jail. Biden ain't no man indictment. As Samuel said earlier, it's what the DAs is doing. They chose to do these things. The feds ain't got nothing to do with that. Unless your cousin Pookie them robbed the bank, that's a federal crime. If they move drugs across state line, that's a federal crime. If they use the phone call and the feds was listening, that's a federal crime. Let's blame the right people for the right things. And when we're wrong, let's accept that too and change. Let's do better at being us. Let's do better at being us. And then we can ask people to be better at being them. Roy can't ask me, he can't hit me up and say, yo, D, I'm gonna need you to do a better show. If the show we doing keep going in and out because we got a bad internet connection. Once Roy get his internet connection, Roy can tell me, D, you ain't doing your part. And I'm just using that as an example, right? Ain't nothing wrong with the internet connection. But he gotta have his shit straight before he can correct me. I gotta have my shit straight before I can correct him. Go ahead, sir.
Having that issue with other folks, I already know how it is. That's how I go.
And you know, that's just the system. So, you know, it's 7:58. Y'all know how it is. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate all the questions, the comments, the corrections. Trina Marie popping up without showing her face and trying to beat me up. I'm gonna go beat up. Now we're gonna have domestic violence. She commenting on some other man beard. Y'all know how it is. Roy, you got anything you need to tell them about my JBN that's coming up soon?
Oh, you just gonna get specific. You ain't just gonna ask me if I got anything. I just want to say.
That's coming. Roy, you got anything you want to say?
About that. No, we will have some new information coming up though. We will have some new info coming up soon. A new broadcast portal for the company website. Yeah, we gonna have some stuff coming in the next 6 days. Still trying to find a spot, but I'm so busy in and out of town right now that I didn't have a chance. But I just want to say bye, Keisha.
And I'm gonna apologize.
Keisha like men with beards because I was gonna shave back to my goatee.
Keisha needs for you to be a football fan. That's number one on her list. Preferably be a sports fan, but definitely football.
I mean, dude, come on now.
I'm just saying. You might want to get her to be a commentator on one of your shows because she loves to talk sports.
Okay. We remember we had stilettos and scoreboards. We need to bring it back.
So Keisha, if you want to talk sports, hit them up. But seriously, I forgot what I was gonna say. We're gonna get some things done. We're gonna get better. We're gonna be unapologetically black. We're gonna have uncomfortable conversations, and that's just what we're gonna do. But in the meantime, between time, raise your standards. If you're gonna put your time and energy, time is the most valuable thing we got. That's the lie we tell. Make it worth your time. Stop lowering your standards so that you don't have to be afraid, so that you don't have to worry about losing. We all lose. Losing is what makes you smarter and stronger. That's just what I think. All right, so y'all know what it is. It's 8 o'clock. This is Random Thoughts with DVP with my boy Roy from my JBN. Oh, this is what I meant to say. I want y'all to stop sending me nasty inboxes. It's my fault. Roy does have a plan. He does have a program where we can take phone calls. It's my fault that we haven't been doing it. But we're gonna work on bringing that in so y'all can call in, I think. But stop sending me nasty inbox about you can't call in. We're gonna get there. Roy has that one, so that one is on me. All right. So until then, y'all know what it is. Peace, popcorn, and chicken grease. We out.